Welcome back to another episode of the Hermit Poetry Series. I'm Neil Aitken, and on this channel I read poetry, mostly work by contemporary poets, occasionally poems of my own, and once in a while poems from the past. Today's poem comes to us by way of translation. This is by a poet, an Afghani poet by the name of Shakila Azizzada, and translated by Zuzana Olszewska and Mimi Kalvati. The poem is entitled Kabul and can be found on the Poetry Translation Center's website, which is also, the poem also appears in a chapbook by Shakila Azizzada. Kabul. If my heart beats for Kabul, it's for the slopes of Bala Hissar, holding my dead in its foothills, though not one of those wretched hearts ever beat for me. If my heart grieves for Kabul, it's for Layla's sighs of, "Oh dear God," and my grandmother's heart set pounding. It's for Gulnar's eyes scanning the paths from dawn to dusk, spring to autumn, staring so long that all the roads fall apart, and in my teenage nightmares side roads suddenly shed their skins. If my heart trembles for Kabul, it's for the slow step of summer noons, siestas in my father's house, which, heavy with midday sleep, still weighs on my ribs, for the playful angel of the right shoulder who keeps forgetting to ward away stray bullets. It's for the hawker's cry of the vegetable seller doing his rounds, lost in my neighbor's troubled dreams, that my heart's trembling. And that was Kabul by Shakila Azizzada, as translated by Zuzana Olszewska and Mimi Kalvati. If you enjoyed this reading and this poem, please do check out the description of the video for a link to the poem in its original and in its translation on the Poetry Translation Center, as well as more information about this series. I read, as I mentioned before, contemporary poetry primarily, but also occasionally dip into my own work. And once in a while do translation work and also read from classics from the past. I'm grateful for all of you for participating in this series, for checking this out if you're new. I'm grateful for technology that enables me to communicate, to read poetry from where I'm at in Saskatchewan, Canada, to wherever you are at, regardless of time or geography. We are connected. And I wish to acknowledge just the great tragedy that is happening right now in Afghanistan, which is in many ways something that's been unfolding for decades, but nonetheless is something that has gotten enormously worse in the last few days. So I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you find some way to stay in touch with those that you love and connect with those who are separated from you, and in some small way work whatever you can to build those bridges and extend those lifelines to those who need it. We're all, we all do whatever we can. And I hope that, I hope in some small way that poetry and literature helps us to remember the voice of humanity and human beings all over the world, and the value of lives and of freedoms, and of the power in which our voices have in order to affect change and to save the lives of others, and to turn a course in history. So whatever we can do, I believe we should do it as best we can. So that's basically it for me this time. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back again soon with more poetry and more reading. Until then, keep reading, keep writing, keep staying involved and invested in the world. There is good we can do, and do the best you can to keep creating, and I will do the same. And I'll be back again soon with more poetry and more readings. And until then, take care, stay safe, be well, and we'll be back. Bye.